Okay, quick gossip, Sesh. I know that you guys want to talk about the Epstein files, and this is it's not going to be about that. It's good. Look, they're going to come up because, of course, they're going to come up. But I'm waiting. Where that's at right now, as of this recording, is that both House and the Senate, both compartments of Congress, have voted yes on the bill to release the Epstein files. That's now on its way to Mr. Trump's desk. He said he's going to sign it. Maybe he already has by the time you're watching this video. Who knows? But then after that, presumably many documents are going to get released. And then at that point, the real journalists, they're going to start going through it. And I'm going to wait until after they, with their professional, newsrooms, break down all that information. Then I'm going to read it. And then at that point, I'll make bits about it for you guys. So it's coming. We're just not quite there yet. But today we're going to talk about MBS, the Saudi crown prince, and his visit to his bestie, Donald, in Washington. All right, exposition. Honestly, there's so much exposition, and I am not going to go over most of it. But what you need to know for this, what we're going to talk about today, is that 7 years ago, a Washington Post journalist named Jamal Khashoggi was murdered. At the time, 7 years ago, Donald's CIA releases a report saying that they think that MBS ordered the murder. How do I know they're besties? I know that Donald thinks they're besties because he says how honored he is, not just to have MBS there in the Oval Office where they're having the press conference, but to have him as a friend. He talks about how much he likes MBS almost more than he talks about how much he doesn't like Joe Biden, which is saying something because Joe lives in his head rent free. Anyway, I digress. Setting the scene. We're at the press conference. MBS is there. All of his men, they're there. Trump is there. All of his men, they're there. The reporter men, they're all there. A few women are scattered about. Donald is talking about how excited he is to have his very best friend there, how hot he thinks everyone thinks America is, and how MBS, his very best friend, is going to invest $1 trillion in Merca. Then this lady journalist from ABC has not only the audacity to be a woman, she asks Trump if he thinks it's appropriate for his family to have so many business dealings in Saudi Arabia while all this is going down. And she asks MBS if he has anything to say about the journalist that the CIA said that he murdered. Donald immediately jumps in to defend his bestie. He's like, do not accuse our guest of murder. And also, I, in a contradiction of my own CIA, don't think he did it. And also, he's like, the murder victim in question, he was a very controversial figure. Lots of people didn't like him. And things happen. Things happen that moment. That's definitely what's getting the most airtime. But honorable mention, there are other notable moments. Donald talks about how we're going to sell fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, and a reporter asks if those are the same fighter jets that we sell to Israel, and like how everybody feels about all that. And Donald is like, yeah, I think they're going to be the same jets. They're going to buy them from Lockheed, which does make you wonder, like, how often when he says a country is investing in America, does he just mean that they are directly subsidizing Lockheed? Donald says that Palestinians love him. He also says that Venezuela sent their entire prison population to come stay in your guest bedroom. No, but he does say that they sent their entire prison population to our country. Then the same reporter who had the audacity to both be a woman and ask Donald a question that he didn't like earlier asks if he, a man who has said that he has the power to declassify anything he wants with the force of his own mind, why, if he supports now, apparently, as he's posted that he has, the release of the Epstein files, doesn't he just declassify everything and send it along its way? And then he calls her a terrible person, ABC a terrible network, her a terrible reporter, and calls publicly for the head of the FCC to revoke ABC's broadcasting license. And then he brags about the size of the ballroom that he's building.